Welcome to another video from Outlaw Bushcraft and Survival. Now, a few people have been asking me over the last few months, especially over winter, that they want to get out this year. They want to start getting out, do some bushcraft type stuff, going out with friends. A couple of them actually going out on their own. I would advise them, as I would do anybody, to make sure you get a little bit of training first before you go wandering off in the Ulu. But one thing they always ask me is what sort of kit should they be buying? Now, for someone that's starting out, you want to be looking at going out on a budget. I mean, imagine going spending £400 or £500 worth of on kit and equipment that you don't really know how to use properly, so you could damage it. Or you may go out once, realise that it's absolutely Baltic when you go out there, especially this time of year. It looks nice during the day. We've actually got a sunny day in Scotland today, which is a rarity at the moment. But they go out there and they go, this is not for me. Then they've got to try and sell it on for a loss. You're never going to get your money back. So what I always advise them is to get themselves down the local army surplus. There's plenty of kit in there, or get yourself onto eBay. A lot of surplus shops are doing it online now, selling on eBay and other sites. That's where you want to be looking when you're getting your kit. Now, the good thing about military equipment, I know in the military, the guys that are in there or have been in there moan like hell about the fact that the kit and equipment is not what it should be and we could always have better. Yes, we could, but it is built to last, and it does last quite well considering the hardships that we actually put it through in the military. So that's where you want to be starting. You don't want to be even down to water bottles. I've got a water bottle here that you can buy for £5. Now you go and buy the equivalent that will go through the rigours that one will in Civvy Street, you're looking at upwards of £25. So you can see the savings you can make. Once you start getting into it, get more experience and more skilled, then you can go into buying bigger and better things. Well, in a case maybe smaller and better things. Because the way this works is, the bigger it is, the cheaper it is. That's normally the way it works. A really good kit that's really small and compact costs an absolute fortune. So start off within your budget. So, first one I'm going to go through then is what I just said, the water bottle. This is very basic kit, just literally overnight trip, right? It's as simple as that. I'm not going to go into the depths of knives and things like that. That's in another part that's going to be coming up. This is purely on basic kit just to get you started. There's too much kit out there to actually do it in one video. Right, so the first one, water bottle. Very basic, issued military water bottle. 9 times out of 10, it will come with a plastic cup, so it's ideal. They fit together nicely. You either get the newer style, which this one is, or the older style that will fit on the bottom like so. There are grooves on it, so it sits in there nice and tight. I got this one second hand for £5. It is pretty much brand new. Obviously I cleaned it out, bicarbonate of soda and all the good stuff, just to make sure everything was out on the inside. And the cup I've done exactly the same with, but the cup actually had never been used by the looks of it. Most guys don't. They've normally got their own little one-man cup that they take out and stick in their webbing. So good bit of kit, only for £5. Chuck it around, belt it around if it's in the bottom of your Bergen when you take it, or your pack when you take it out. Chances are you're not going to burst it. Nice strong bit of kit for £5. If you don't know what these are, you really shouldn't be going out of the ground anyway. These are very basic mess tins. 2 mess tins, one sits inside the other, nice and comfortably. These ones have been used, they've been scrubbed. There's a little bit of dirt on the bottom, a little bit of burning on the bottom, but the other one's not been used. Fit together to help you boil. It's an ideal bit of kit when you're first starting out. You pay £5 for these, that's about right. Any more than that, you want to be looking elsewhere. I picked these up for £2. Pound the mess tin that fit inside each other. You can't go far wrong with that. Again, you can bend it, stand on it, sit on it, whatever happens to it, bend it back out again, sit into place. I think of all my time in the military, I've only seen these split maybe 2 or 3 times. Fantastic bits of kit. Now, to go along with them, we've got the new military issued BCB cooker. A very basic bit of metal that just opens up without cutting my fingers open. Opens up like so. Got a little bit of metal here that holds it open so that it can't actually collapse on side itself. And you've got your Dragon Fuel that we get issued now, which sits just inside, it's these fingers, that sits just inside this little gap here. Now the good thing about Dragon Fuel, compared to the old Hexa that we used to get, this isn't toxic. Yes, they can say you can use it as soap and God knows what else. I wouldn't recommend running it all over your body because it is, after all, flammable. Hence it wouldn't be any good. But one bit of advice, if you get the opportunity and someone says to you, we've got an excess build up of Hexa here, or one of the Omni surplus says, yeah, I'll sell you a box of Hexa, as in a big box for a £5, don't take it. The fumes that it gives off are toxic. Obviously, it took them years in the military to realise this, and they wonder why everyone's got bad coughs and knackered lungs and everything else when we've been breathing this stuff in for years. But that's by the by. Stay away from Hexa. You can get civvy equivalents, but advice, get some Dragon Fuel. Every surplus stop I have them, I guarantee it, you pick it up for a couple of quid. One Dragon Fuel should cook you enough, or boil you enough water to be able to put a boil in the bag in. Right then, next one. Basher, poncho, bivvy, whatever you want to call it. This is an MTP one. Now we are starting to get into a little bit more expensive bits of kit here. Fantastic bit of kit. Very, very waterproof. Don't care what anyone says. They are a good bit of kit, especially the new ones. Now the MTP ones, the new ones I've just had there, these ones are a little bit bigger than the DPM ones. Not a lot, but they are a little bit bigger than the DPM ones. Loads of hooks and stuff and eyelets all the way around it. Have a look on my other videos on how to actually put a bivvy up if you want to, if you've never done it before. Unfortunately, they are holding their money quite well. They're obviously quite hard to get hold of. One of them will set you back about 25 quid, which seems like a lot of money starting out. But if you look at some of the other tarp makers out there, I personally have got an old civilian maker's tarp, and it costs a lot more money than £25. A little bit bigger, a little bit more comfort for me when I go out there. But on a budget, I spent 25 years sleeping under one of them and I've never really had a problem. If you're on a budget, grab yourself one of them. DPM or MTP, the difference isn't massive in size wise, but it's just to let you know there is a little bit of difference. Right then, when we actually get into bed, roll mat. Very, very basic, nice and simple roll mat. Brilliant bit of kit. You sleep without one of these for a night, and I guarantee you will remember that night for the rest of your life. The earth and the ground will suck the heat out of your body like you won't believe. This literally can be a lifesaver in regards to that. Cracking bit of kit. Yes, there are civvy equivalents out there. 9 times out of 10, they're not as big as this. Lengthwise, widthwise, you shouldn't be coming off that and rolling off that underneath a bivvy or poncho, but a really good bit of kit. You should be able to pick one up with an £8–10. Most surplus shops, brand new one, maybe £15. Really good bit of kit. Some people do cut them down and fold them up, like the sniper mats that you can buy, but in this state here, absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. Issued Arctic sleeping bag. I personally don't like putting it in a stuff sack. They are big bits of kit, hence they're called a bouncing bomb, but they are good bits of kit. You'll pick one up of these up for about 25–30 quid, which sounds expensive, but this is comfort rated down to, if my memory serves me right, down to about -10. You will not pick up any sleeping bag in Civvy Street that's half decent that will take you down to -10 comfort for 25–30 quid. If you can, I'd bite their hands off and take it there and then, because we're looking in the maybe knocking on the door of £100 for that sort of sleeping bag. Good bit of kit. Make sure you get it cleaned once you get it. Don't just jump in it, for God's sake. You don't know who the last person in was it, but it is a really good bit of kit. Bit hefty, but for an overnighter this time of year, 4-season sleeping bag, you can't go far wrong with 25–30 quid. Now, I would never go out there without a bivvy bag. Now, for those of you who don't know what a bivvy bag is, a bivvy bag is basically a Gore-Tex shell that your sleeping bag sits inside of. Now, they do come again in DPM, MTP. I didn't realise how expensive they were in army surplus shops. You're looking at about 30 quid for one of these, but you won't get cold. You imagine that takes you down to -10. With your Gore-Tex bivvy bag, you're looking at a lot lower than that. It holds the heat in very well, and it's a waterproof outer shell. Just in case the rain decides to turn direction in the middle of the night, it starts coming in and you've put an A-frame up, you've still got that waterproof layer. Really good bit of kit. If you can get hold of one, from what I gather, they are quite hard to get hold of them, but if you can get hold of one, I recommend it. And the other good thing is, when it starts getting warmer, I've spent many a night just inside the bivvy bag itself without a sleeping bag. That's how warm you can actually be inside one with the right layering of clothing. Nice and easy, just with one of them in the middle of summer, bang it right in the bottom of your day sack, that's you good to go. The smaller bag you carry, the easier it is for yourself. Last one then. What do we carry it all in? Issue Bergen. As you can see, this is an old DPM one. It's a long back Bergen. It's around about 100 litres. Cracking bit of kit. This has been well used, to say the least. It's starting to fall apart a little bit now, but a brilliant bit of kit nevertheless. It's been battered, bruised, God knows how many tours this has been on. I got it off a mate of mine who was getting out and just asked me if I want it, and I used it just for wandering around and going up into the bazaars. But this has never ever let me down. The straps are starting to get a little bit frayed now. Pick one of these up again, about 25-30 quid if you go to the right place. Fully adjustable on your top and on your bottom. You got a waistband. My buckle's actually broke on this one. I don't really put the waistband around. I've got another Bergen that I carry around if I'm going to go and do anything half decent out in the sticks. On the front, all I've done is attached a bit of bungee, like most military do. Where your roll mat can go on the outside. You can get your side pouches that will go on the side. I don't normally bother, but if you want to go out for any length of time, 2 or 3 days, your side pouches, pick them up for maybe £5–10 a piece. Army surplus shop. Acres and acres of space all inside. There's no way that you're going to fill that for an overnighter. You shouldn't be doing anyway, with the amount of kit you're going to be taking. Pouch on the top, pouch on the inside, pouch on the front. Because it's got molly system type on the side, you can actually get additional pouches to go on there. So there's plenty of scope for making this and personalising this as much as you humanly want. Cracking bit of kit, you can throw it around, chuck it around all day long. Hopefully it'll never break. If it does, you've only lost 25 quid. Now when you put that up against some of the fancy bushcraft day sacks that you can get, you're probably looking again, knocking on the door of 150 quid, if not upwards, for exactly the same size bit of kit. Anyway guys, that's just a few bits and pieces budget wise for guys that are looking to get into the bushcrafty type survival world and just want to think, I want to get out there, I don't want to spend a fortune. For around about £100 you can get a full setup. Go searching around the internet and you'll probably get it even cheaper. Look out for the next video that comes up. It's going to be a part 2, and it's going to be going more nitty-gritty bits and pieces you can get with regards to knives, axes, things like that, on a budget again. When you go out there, make sure you stay safe.